guys, I have here an Olipop. You ever heard of these? It was all the craze on the internet. It's supposed to be like a probiotic, is it? Prebiotic botanical plant fiber. There's a lot of fiber in these, 9 grams in 1 can, 50 calories. But it's got things like marshmallow root and artichoke, salt, different kinds of roots. I don't know, anyway. They're kind of tasty. And I never used to be big on soda. It kind of tastes like soda. Some of them aren't so pleasant, like the ginger ale. The grape so far is my favorite. They're kind of spendy, though. I think it's like $8 for a 4-pack. I've been on hormone replacement therapy since February 15th. I'm breaking out. My skin is not liking it. Neither is my attitude. I feel like I'm irritable and it feels like I'm PMSing, honestly, and I'm not. But and I emailed my doctor, and anyway, it's supposed to take 6 to 8 weeks to acclimate. So I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know, man. I'm just so exhausted, and I put so much hope in feeling instantly better. I shouldn't have, obviously, right? Because I had felt so poorly prior to. So when I started taking it, I was like, all right, now I'm gonna have energy, and now my body's not gonna be aching, and oh, it's only just gotten worse with acne, with bad attitude, irritable, mood swings, with I feel like I have more body aches than I did before. Anyway, so I'm on hormone replacement therapy, and I've been doing things in addition to, like, instead of waking up in the morning and eating a granola bar just because it's quick and I just don't want to, like, I would make breakfast for anybody else, and I do. I make breakfast for the kids, for my husband, but for myself, I never like make eggs and just sit down and have a nice hearty breakfast. I would just take some processed like granola bar or something just to, I don't know why I'm like that to myself. But anyway, and then I switched out my coffee with mushroom coffee, and I have been making small changes even prior to being put on hormone replacement therapy. I'm just trying to keep the good habits going, and despite everything, I'm gaining weight more than I was even before. I was eating at a deficit for a long time, and I lost like 60 pounds, and then it just stopped coming off, and then I started having pretty big struggles. My calorie deficit is not related to my hormone issues. Apparently have been long going. But anyway, it's just harder now to do anything. I feel like I hear them fighting, is why I keep pausing, listening to them. That's enough chit chat. It's been 5 minutes. What? It's been 5 minutes of me chatting. Has it been 5 minutes? Oh, no. I turned it on, then I went downstairs, got my Olipop, and then I came back up. So it hasn't been 5 minutes. The camera's been rolling 5 minutes, but I hadn't been here. All right, let me just start in 2 Corinthians 10. I, Paul, myself entreat you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ. I, who am humble when face to face with you, but bold towards you when I am away. I beg of you that when I am present I may not have to show boldness with such confidence as I count on showing against some of who suspect us of walking according to the flesh. All right, so there's people in the Corinth church that are accusing Paul of walking with the flesh. He's saying, I don't want to be mean to you guys, but I can do it if need be. But I'll get into that here in my notes in just a minute. For though we walk in the flesh, we are not waging war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. We destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God, and take every thought captive to obey Christ, being ready to punish every disobedience when your obedience is complete. There's somebody in the church planting seeds of lies against Paul, because if you can get people to not like Paul or think that Paul is bad, then you can get them to not believe the message. And that's how Satan works a lot of times, is he tries to get in between you and God, and he will work at the source of the strength of your relationship, and where he can get a foothold in, he's going to work in that. That's why it's very important to feed yourself some truth. On Instagram, my Instagram is the same name as this channel. On my Instagram, I was talking just yesterday about memes, or not memes, what are they called? Quotes, about like self-love, and the quote is nice, it seems positive, and it has a little bit of truth to it, but in the entirety of the quote, it puts a spin on it to where you need to focus on yourself and you become your own God. And so the hook comes where it seems like a nice message, and that's how the devil works. He's not stupid, he's conniving, and he will use a little bit of truth to get you to believe a whole lie. And that's what is happening here to Paul, and that creates a wedge between you and God. And if Satan can destroy your relationship with Christ, well, it's very easy to get a hold of everything else in your life. Let's keep reading. Verse 7, look at what is before your eyes. If anyone is confident that he is Christ's, let him remind himself that just as he is Christ's, so also are we. For even if I boast a little too much of your authority, which the Lord gave for building you up and not for destroying you, I will not be ashamed. I do not want to appear to be frightening you with my letters. For they say, his letters are weighty and strong, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech of no account. So that's saying, like, someone had said, he writes you all these letters chastising you and telling you all these stuff you're doing wrong, but he never even shows up. Like, they're trying to really rip Paul apart. Let such person understand that what we say by letter, when absent, we do when present. Like, just the expression that you see oftentimes today, where they're like, not only am I going to say it behind your back, I'm going to say it to your face. And that's kind of what Paul is saying. Verse 12. Not that we dare to classify or compare ourselves with some of those who are commending themselves, but when they measure themselves by one another and compare themselves with one another, they are without understanding. But we will not boast beyond limits, but will boast only with regard to the area of influence God assigned to us to reach even to you. For we are not overextending ourselves as though we did not reach you, for we were the first to come all the way to you with the gospel of Christ. We do not boast beyond the limit of the labors of others, but our hope is that as your faith increases, our area of influence among you may be greatly enlarged, so that we may preach the gospel in lands beyond you without boasting of work already done in another's area of influence. Let the one who boasts boast in the Lord, for it is not the one who commends himself who is approved, but the one whom the Lord commends. Let me give you my notes. All right, here in verse 4 where it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh. Our weapons are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. That's telling us that our flesh cannot break down strongholds. So if you're struggling with a sin in your life, with some thoughts that keep recurring in your mind, and you're trying by yourself to remediate that, just know that our flesh cannot break down those strongholds. We need God. We need the power of the Holy Spirit within us. So feed the Holy Spirit by getting in your word, just like you are right now, at least, because you're watching this, right? So you're getting some food for your soul. Pray and ask God for help, because your flesh can't do it by itself. The Bible literally says so.
Skills, and Josiah laughed at me, and then Jeremiah said, that's what you get.
All right, this study isn't going to be as long as I had hoped. My kids are not getting along, so I have to help coach them. I did want to point out one last thing. Verse 17, it says, let the one who boasts boast in the Lord. The very reason I even have the desire to sit up here and do a Bible study is because of God. The very reason I have any ability to understand the words that I'm reading is because of God. This is not something that I've done or something that I'm just great. Look, I'm studying the Bible and I'm praying and I'm living a good Christian life. I don't innately have the desire to do, that sounds terrible, these things. And I, for years, never did. And then I prayed to God for the desire to read my Bible. I prayed to God for the ability to understand the Bible. I pray to God for the desire to pray. Everything that I have in my walk with God is because I have emptied myself of myself and given it to God, and He has worked through me, and it is because of him that I'm even here right now doing this. So, and he'll do that for everyone if they just lay down their lives for him. And I pray that you are able to do that. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.